Welcome, Cancer. Hi, how are you? Welcome to your reading for October 2018. This channel is called The Witching Hour. My name's Michelle and I'm a witch. Thank you so much for joining me, all my subscribers and newcomers alike. Welcome and merry meet. Thanks so much for all your likes, shares, subscribes, your comments, especially your donations. I really appreciate it. If you would like to connect with me, make a donation to the channel, or arrange for a personal reading, the links for those things are in the drop-down description box below the screen. I'm using Sacred Circle Tarot by Anna Franklin, illustrated by Paul Mason, and Witch's Wisdom Oracle Cards by Barbara Michael John Free and Flavia Kate Peters. I call in the directions of north, east, south, and west, the guardians and gatekeepers, and I also evoke the elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And I'm going to read a blessing written by Travis Bowman for the element of water. Here and now, I evoke the elemental force of water, the fluid of infinite shapes and forms, flowing source of adaptability, emotion, and life. I seek the pure spring within, that I might drink deep of change, relationship, nourishment, and grace. I call you forth to wash away all that needlessly binds, and to move fluidly in this world. Ocean and river, ripple and rain. Water, I call thee hence. I pray that you'll be blessed, Cancer, and be surrounded by love, to have everything that you need, and to do what your heart desires and makes you come alive in this lifetime. Past, present, and future in love. Underlying energy in the area of love is potential, the Page of Wands. Security, past, present, and future. The underlying energy of the underworld. This is similar to the Devil card in the traditional tarot, but this is a Celtic pagan deck. So the deities and the archetypes would be different. In the area of freedom, past, present, and future. The underlying energy is that of the Six of Swords, bringing with it the energy of solace. This is the underlying energy of each area of your life regarding love, security, and freedom. Past, present, and future. So, time being fluid, please keep that in mind. I don't give exact dates or time frames, but if they come through, they will. This is the general area and general reading of the month of October. In the past, you have the Nine of Swords, and I'm glad to see it in the past for your sake. I'm sorry you went through a hard time. Seems like a lot of worry. Thankfully, it feels like it's under the bridge to me, but I think, maybe you're looking over your shoulder a bit and feeling worried that things are going to crop up again. That's what I'm feeling from you. Yeah, some significant other looking at their dark side, you seeing their dark side, you delving into your own dark side as a result of their behavior. This is a person who has tended to bring out the worst in you and make you feel emotionally insecure, branching into other areas of your life, like your finances, your home situation. I'm feeling, and there's like an underpinning of one person kind of disrupting the peace. And I do feel for some of you it's a partner, and for some it's an older child, like older teen or younger adult. I'm picking up a younger male energy who lives at home, who's a young adult, but he lives at home. So that type of scenario. It doesn't pertain only to those two scenarios, but that's what I'm picking up on strongly. So someone bringing out the worst in you. Someone, you were looking at family dynamics because there was just unrest is the word I'm hearing. Some of you have reconfigured your financial state, but also about like what you want to do, how you want to restructure your life. That's like a new development for you, or at least like a new phase, like you're turning over a new leaf and wanting to restructure things, especially in the area of security. And you're finding that the relationship insecurity is kind of spilling over into the plans, the more concrete plans you want to make. So, or it was, that is the past. And then we have, in the area of freedom, we have the Tower. And I do feel that someone moved out. And this was in order to give you peace of mind, to bring peace of mind, but it kind of brought another set of mental and emotional things to consider, its own set of issues that it brought up for you. And it's like I immediately, being an empathic medium, I'm feeling your feelings. And it's like, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm sitting down with you at your kitchen table, we're having tea or coffee, and I'm like a friend talking to you, and I can see this conversation taking place. As if I'm saying to you, I'm so sorry, that happened, I'm sorry that, you had to ask your son to leave, you had to ask, your partner to leave, etc. And it's like a decision, it's a painful decision that you had to make. But that you knew you had to do it because it would bring you peace of mind. And that even though you would continue to feel sad, it was the lesser of two evils, in the sense that, well, if they stay, though, it will just bring, I'm convinced now that this situation is not going to change for the better. And so I have to consciously choose to end this living arrangement, this practical arrangement. And then maybe we can work better and see things better from a higher perspective as far as relationship dynamics. And I see you feeling like, well, I don't think we're going to revisit the living together situation again, but we might be able to revisit relationship dynamics and maybe at least stay connected, or at least keep in touch in some way, shape, or form as best as we can. But I think it's better that we love each other from a distance and connect that way, outside of home. Even if we have to meet for coffee, it's better than having to have all the problems under the same roof. That's a very strong feeling I'm picking up on. And that can pertain to you who are experiencing the same dynamics, but under different circumstances, setting boundaries, but having so much emotional impact and yet so much clarity about the dysfunction and what the problem is, that it's like, it's a very painful decision to make, you know? So whatever that is, whether some of you are leaving your jobs or these are extended family members, as I'm also picking up on that. Like, I'm not going to come visit you for the time being. You know, that you've established that. I sense that also here. Restructuring how you interrelate with people who have toxic problems, who trigger your dark side. It's like, you know this and you're taking responsibility for it. And it's like, I feel spirit applauding you for this. That it's like you did the right thing and you saw your own part, not in this current problem, but you see your own part as your potential to contribute to a bad situation in such a way as would harm you and potentially not help make things better for the situation. Because if it triggers you, you're in no place to help things get better. It just turns you into feeling like, you know, everything's a hot mess, you know. And you had the presence of mind to realize that. And that's what Spirit is congratulating you on. It's like, you know yourself. Now, these people need to get to know themselves the way you did and take responsibility for themselves, and we can't do it all under one roof. And that's sad. And I see myself again comforting you. And Spirit sending people to comfort you, sitting at the table talking with someone who really empathizes with you, understands how hard it was for you to do this. But now, it's like the tide is turning. It's been a while that you've had to sit in these feelings, and now the tide is turning. It feels like, oh, hey, oh, a sigh of relief. It's like, oh, I feel my energy has freed up. I feel like I've gotten I'm starting to feel like I'm getting something out of this decision that I made. Whereas first I spent a while grieving about it. And you did have to grieve because it was the loss of a relationship in some respects. It might have been complete loss of relationship, but if not, it's definitely the complete loss of a type of connection you had with someone who was close, and now the connection has to be different, but you did the right thing. And I see a friend comforting you, and I feel like I want to comfort you and say, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And I just wish you could take comfort in and solace in that. And I think you are, and I think you feel that it's giving you some sort of, you're starting to begin to feel some sort of return for that decision. Things are still vague. There's still people. I feel that this is an outside influence of people throwing shadows on what types of things you want to make. That they keep wanting to pull these other dysfunctional people in to your decision making, especially regarding plans for your future and your life on the whole, in general. It's like you feel like these ghosts from the past, or these ties that bind, are still influencing the way others give you advice or the opinions they share with you. It's like everybody's willing to share their opinion when really all it does is it leaves you in the dark as to what you really want. It's like, why are my true intentions and my true desires not coming up to the surface of what I want to say? Why am I not being seen or heard by people? What is going on? I need to know this. You keep seeking Spirit's answer. And you will get it. You will get it. They will come and tell you, but it might take a little bit further boundaries to put down. You might have to extend the boundary line a little bit further out of the parameter of where you have it. Where you had it was perfect, but it's like over time it needs to expand a little bit more to extended family or extended friends, because sometimes when we take care of the core issue, some of the same residual people are still remaining there in their life, in our life, and we are like, well, they're the ones that have always been their friends and acquaintances, extended family. They've always comforted before, and now they're throwing their 2 cents in all the time. Now they've become kind of like the peanut gallery, so to speak, you know? And it's like, hey, but you're using your new boundaries. It's like you've been practicing them, and now you're practicing them on these other people. And it's like, oh, jeepers, I'm not quite sure. Should I do this or not? I'm kind of worried. I don't want to lose all my friends. I don't want to lose all my extended family. So it's like Spirit is saying, just hold the phone and just wait and be patient and relax. And you'll get the right impressions as you go along. You need to make sense of things one thing at a time, and to not try and take it all in at once. Like don't do that right at this time, or you're just realizing you can't handle it all and deal with it all at once, or address it all at once. You have to do it one interaction at a time, one decision at a time. And it's okay, it's safe to do that now. Because nobody's going to come in and bust down your door and invade your space the way they used to. They'll still come, but you have more wiggle room, and you can deal with it at a slower pace. That's what I'm picking up on. And in the area of freedom, see, it's changed. It's the Knight of Swords. This is someone willing to champion your cause. And I do feel some of you do have one person or two in your corner. And unfortunately, what I'm feeling for a lot of you is that you don't have hardly anybody in your corner. Like very few. And like the ones that you do have in your corner are not as intimately involved as to get, you're not as intimate with them emotionally as for them to get more involved in the situation, to literally stand up in your defense. So you're kind of on your own, and that's okay. Because this is the change that needs to be brought about in regards to giving you that space to extend the boundaries a little further out. You are getting the insight gradually, and you know that it's one interaction at a time. At first it was all at once, like, a big blowout, but now it's one interaction at a time. And I do feel you're kind of figuring out, you are discovering who your real friends are. You are discovering that. You are seeing the support system. You are seeing it. You're letting, and what's really good and mature of you is that you're just letting it unfold. You're letting people reveal themselves. You're letting people reveal their true natures to you. And you're doing a damn good job, is what Spirit is saying. You're doing a damn good job of allowing people to reveal their true natures and let their true natures rise to the surface on their own. You're not going off on any witch hunts, and that's what Spirit is commending you for, that you're not hunting people down and questioning their motives at every turn. It's like, no, I'm just going to let it come up. I'm not going to get on the defensive, because Spirit is saying it's critical. It's really I don't know what the word is, but they're saying it's really good that you are not on the defensive so much, because that would really make things worse for you personally, never mind everybody else. This is about you, and these boundaries are for you. Try and remind yourself that they're for you. These boundaries are yours. They're part of you. They're an extension of your energy. These boundaries aren't for them, like the enemy or the outsider. The boundaries are not for them. That would make you feel defensive. You're owning the boundaries and reminding yourself, these boundaries are mine. They're an extension of me, as if they were parts of my body. Parts of me that stand on guard for me. Little posts, like outposts. Little sentinels standing around you. And they're part of you. And it's a good way to look at that. And you take comfort in that thought. You take comfort in that thought. That's the underlying feeling. Is that after all the, pardon my language, after all the shit that went down, it's one thing you can congratulate yourself for and pat yourself on the back for. And Spirit is saying that's like the most critical point that anyone could address, and you nailed it. You did it. And don't expect it to be perfect, because you're only human. You're just human. You're not going to be able to hold them up all the time, these boundaries. Nobody does. Nobody's perfect at anything like that. It's always both. You have to remain flexible and fluid in it, and you're going to be okay with it. Don't worry. No bad guys are going to dig under the fence and get in, so to speak, okay? They might try. Five of Swords. Defeat. You know, other people might get on the defensive as they reveal themselves. You'll have somewhat of a foundation in knowing who your true friends are. They may not be able to come to your defense in such a literal sense, but the emotional support will bolster your defenses and make them stronger and fortified to where you don't feel like you're being defensive with people. But you might start to see others expressing their feelings about it. Others who know that they're on the other side of the fence. You might notice, oh, well, now I know my true friends have revealed themselves, and now the ones who know that they're on the other side of the fence are also revealing how they feel about it. And that's where like the strongest boundary comes in, to remain silent. You have the right to remain silent. You do. You do have the right to remain silent. And just let it blow over is what I'm feeling. It might take, that's where your strength where you might need to fortify your strength. Keep leaning on the people who you know are your friends. You have a bounty, even though it might only be a few. You have a bounty in the sense that you have someone in your corner bolstering your self-confidence, and they don't have to get so involved in the issue. All they have to do is just be there for you in your life, just rooting you and cheering you on in a more general way. And it's like you're going to come to appreciate that more over time. You're coming to appreciate that now, instead of feeling like, you know, rush to my aid and be my ally and fight with me on this. You're feeling like you don't need that as much anymore, because the crisis has calmed down more, and now it's just people talking and their opinions. And you're finding that actually takes more strength, because that has to do more with self-restraint, you know. In a crisis, we can just act, you know, in that moment, you know, as if in a crisis. And the crisis makes the decisions for us. But when it comes to us exercising a more self-restraining choice, that it feels a little tougher and harder, like you need more strength, but you're going to get it. So just keep what I said in mind, what the cards are saying. Because it's kind of bringing out the ugly in everyone. It just kind of is. But you're doing the right stuff with that knowledge and with that awareness. And it doesn't matter if other people are not, and you kind of have to let it go in that respect, is what I'm being told. And you are going to recoup your financial losses. This is bringing about a huge change in the self-awareness of your capabilities to earn money and what you're truly gifted at. And this is the blessing in the curse. This is the blessing right here, is you're going to find out your own hidden resources within yourself of creating a new life for yourself. And it is happening right now. It's like right around. You're seeing the gifts already. And it's like Spirit is saying, we know that you see them. We know that you know. And it's like, they're really happy that you're discovering this part of yourself. And for those of you that haven't, it's like, get ready for that, because it's coming. You're going to discover things about yourself that create a really beautiful sense of security about how you want to structure your life and the new ways that you can earn security, earn an income, all different things that will create security in your life. Not just income, but so much more. It's like the possibilities are endless. And you're like, I'm so glad this happened. It's like, I don't know. I can't be glad the sad thing happened. But you know what I'm glad about is what the gift was that it had inside of it. Like cracking something open and there's a gift inside. And unfortunately, something had to break in the process. You know that saying, to make an omelet, you got to crack some eggs. And the universe is the one that cracks the eggs. The other people are the ones who cracked the eggs, and it got all scrambled. And you wanted to kind of keep all your eggs in one basket. But it's like, hey, you can't unspill milk, and that's just what the way it is. You've come to accept it. And you're like, holy shitballs, look at this gift. I am amazing. That's what you're discovering. How amazing you are. Because you're going to get some like really solid financial return to boot. And it's not just about the money. It truly is not. But it's about like, oh my gosh, all these resources and all this potential came from me. Me and my own integrity. It's like, shit. You're really excited. And it's like you become your number one fan. And that is what puts you over the edge and puts you in a whole different playing field than everybody else that you've acquainted yourself with over the years. It's like, now I know. It's like you're going from minor leagues to major leagues. It's like now you're with the pros. You know, now you're playing with the big dogs, so to speak. And not that people you love are small, you know, or less than. That's not what that means. But it's like you feel like you're in a whole different league because your self-confidence was shadowed and colored by all of this dysfunction. And it no longer is, it no longer will be very, very, very soon. And that's going to make you feel like a bigger person. Not bigger than other people, but bigger just naturally. Like you grow. You grow, and it's like you outgrow all the old really untruths about yourself that you used to believe, okay? And here, in the area of freedom, we have the Seven of Cups, delusion. Yes, what I feel are people coming towards you with their version of things and how they're going to change. Keep this reading in mind and the material contained herein and your own personal inventory of you and how much you've grown and developed through all this. And remember that that is what's at stake when someone comes back to you with their story. I can be different. And they say all the right words, and you have to remind yourself they're just words. You have to be able to admit to yourself how you truly feel about the person, that you love them, and you still have to have boundaries with them. Both can exist, because you know the alternative is I let down my boundaries, and then it's at your own expense, and you will be the one who suffers. So it's like you can see through the BS now and still be at peace with it being BS. It's like you're okay with that. You've grown so much that when you see BS, you recognize it and accept it, but you don't necessarily welcome it in, and it doesn't change you. It doesn't change how much you've grown. It doesn't change how you need to hold your boundaries in place. It does not change the fact that you love this person. And you have to know that you can trust yourself. You've got to develop trust in yourself that you can love this person without letting them back in so closely. And that even when you do that, you will still be able to move on with your life. It's not going to be as bad as you think emotionally. Trust me on that. I know what I'm talking about. Oh my God, look at the underlying energy in Witch's Wisdom. Boundaries. The athame. That is your tongue. Sharp, double-edged sword. And your best boundary is your tongue, so to speak. It's the word no. Most powerful word besides love. Here is the actual card I drew, Book of Shadows, Secret. Always keep your agenda to yourself. Don't divulge too much to other people, or they can pull the wool over your eyes. They know like how to play you. They know what buttons to push. That's the self-containment that I was talking about that requires self-restraint right there. And you will be able to do it. You will be able to carry that through well. Just remember, you're not perfect and you're not human. But don't worry about it so much. Stay with your friends. Stay in groups of people. Stay within your group, support group. Whoever and however that is. Knowing that you're loved and loving yourself will keep you strong to uphold and maintain those boundaries. And you will hold them up. I'm going to see, okay, the Hanged Man. Be patient with yourself about it. You're just starting this. It's a new venture for you. And it does bring the transformation. It does. You have to just trust in the process. And you will be okay. And here's the result. The Empress and the Seven of Cups again. It's like you have to be bigger than the dream or illusion that people are presenting to you. You have to know that you are your own resource of abundance in your life. Own your life and take hold of it and embrace it and know that you're in charge. You are, and it's going to be okay. I hope that helped, Cancer. I hope you liked your reading, and we will see each other again soon. Until then, from my soul to yours, much love and brightest blessings. Take care. Bye-bye.